Hey, Composing Gloves here, and today we're going to be taking a look at metal sounds in Sytrus, more metal things, because metal things are popular things these days, especially in a lot of sort of newer tracks that I tend to notice. It tends to be the thing. Chill out tracks have metal sounds, dubstep, drum and bass, they're everywhere. So I have a couple of different metal sounds to show you, because the first time I recorded this video, I didn't record it, so I just recorded the audio. So here we go, one more time. So this is so there's a whole bunch of textures you can get out of this. This is the low one. Okay, that's pretty cool. And let's make a higher one. I guess that wasn't that low. Just a sec. I wanted to get that note. So those are the different kinds of textures. And so that's example one. Here's example two. So very, very different texture. That's at C5 also. If we go down, lower, and then of course a higher one. So this one doesn't get as shrill as we go higher up. So what are the principles I'm using to make these sounds? You know, what is it? I'm cautious to compliment myself on any sound design, because someone might just like rip me open and say this is the worst sound design ever. So you gotta be careful when you post things on the internet. So okay, I have this funky looking shape, and you'll notice in 1 and in 2, I thought it was in 2, and in 2, it's there. That is there because 1 creates a sine wave tone at the bottom of these patches, and I don't like it. And you can't even tell that this even exists here as abruptly as it does, because it just boom, just turns on, and when it does, it sort of fits the sound. It fits it perfectly, so it's not like something that you would intuitively know is there. So okay, that's pretty cool. Now I'm FMing essentially 1 against 2 and 3. I decided to use 2, what is that? 1, 2, 3, like 4 octaves up or something like that, and from the original. So that's, what is that? 1 to 2 is 1 octave, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. So 3 octaves above the original, and 3 is out. Now I used Harmer's special abilities here and made a funny looking thing where I was like, hey, you know, what happens if I do something like, whoops, ooh, not something like that. What happens if I do something like reduce the fundamental and add some crazy high harmonic? I did the same experiment on this one when I was making it with you guys, except for I thought I was, but I really wasn't. This time I'm sure I am. I did the same experiment here, only I made the harmonic closer. So as you see, it didn't get as shrill and narrow at the top. Now, when you look at something like this, you should know intuitively that this is going to create a lot of sidebands, and it's going to sound nuts. Because now, even if you don't know FM synthesis, that should just be kind of obvious because it looks crazy. But if you do know what you're doing, then you understand what a high harmonic can do to your signal, which is why I kind of went with it for a metal sound. And you see I chose a really weird sort of offbeat thing, because metal sounds are characterized by them having a lot of harmonics, but usually pretty spread out and not related to the fundamental, but they are related in some sort of unusual way. So it's not necessarily that they're random, just that they're not like even multiples of the fundamental. So I was like, oh, okay. So I tried to recreate that here. I went with the triangle wave to try and get clarity of my sidebands to be clear. I didn't want too much spew spreading between them. The differences become quite different as a timbre choice when you are doing higher ratio things, anything above like a ratio of 1 really, or even 1 to that extent. So 2 is also getting FM though by 3. By this weird relationship here, and just a touch, like these things are just a little bit. Then I took it out, I sent it through 1, and it's got a bandpass filter on it. Now the bandpass filter, so I'm isolating harmonics, and then the bandpass filter acts as a bandwidth control. So how big the band is, the resonance does. So I'm sorry, the resonance acts as band pass control bandwidth. So it controls how big the band pass is. If you don't know what that is, go look at my basic filters and go watch my Sound and Synth Basics series. So okay, it comes out, it's got some reverb on it to add for the ambience. And then something you could try doing is also automating the volume. That way the reverb follows the automation curve. Why would you want to do that? Well, a lot of the sounds people listen to these days do that, and they don't ring out. They create this wash. Whoops. They create this wash, which is of sound, of metal sound, which adds to the metallic texture. So that's something that's a big thing too. So that's sort of the idea behind the patch. Let's go ahead and make one. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to make a new Sytrus. Add a new Sytrus. I'm going to rename it metal and misspell metal because I'm a rebel. I wonder if it renames my thing. It does rename it. Oh, that's something interesting. Even if you name it metal, name it right that time. We're going to paste it. Boom. I'm going to hold down Alt and get rid of that. So, and it's got to be the Alt on your right. If you're sitting at your keyboard, it's going to be your right, the right Alt. The other Alt allows you to move off the grid. So, and to basically make this none without having to select it. So, okay. Let's make a thing. Let's take this down to 1. Let's take 2. Let's take 2 up to 8. I experimented with this being 4 as well. It was an interesting result. You get lots of metallic textures out of this. So I didn't talk a lot about a lot of what was going inside because we're just going to make one. So as of now, we have this. Not a big shock. Now we're going to FM it. Ooh, let's be careful. And you see our harmonics are sort of spread out, which is what we want. We're going to take it out. We're going to send it through 1 and let it go out of 1. We're going to change this to a band pass, the vanilla band pass. And you see, this is a very small band. And this is a much bigger band. I want something more like that. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to change one. Let's see what it does sound like at a ratio 4. No, I don't know. Nope. So, I don't know if any of you watched The Land Before Time when you were a kid, but I did. Nope. So, operator 3, we're going to, hey, if any of you guys are outside of the US, which I'm assuming a lot of you are, was Land Before Time, the movie, a thing, like as a kid for you? Or was that just like an American thing? I'm kind of curious to know. So, like, what was your like childhood movie that like no one in the US tends to know about? I mean, Disney's a pretty global thing, so maybe not. I'm not sure if it was made by Disney. Was it Disney? I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to take down my fundamental. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to add one right here. Why not? Somebody that crazy thing. You know what? This time, I'm going to make it a triangle. Maybe not. Yeah, it's not a big difference. That's pretty interesting type deal there. Now, I'm going to... You know what? I'm going to try distorting this. I'm getting less metallic, though. And I'm going to make 3 a weird ratio. Let's bring up the fundamental a little bit. Get rid of these. It's too low. Let's bring this back up to 4. That's kind of an interesting type thing right there. Let's take this to 9. Let's see what it says. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to FM 2 by 3. I'm going to take 2. I'm going to turn the mod on it like this. And I'm going to, actually, you know what, on 2, I'm not going to do that on the mod tab. I'm going to do that on the volume. So volume. On 3, I'm going to do it for the mod. This, you should be familiar with what's happening right now from my Sytrus from the ground up series. So now, which is perfect. Now we're getting real close to where we were at. Got the metallic sound, but down here I've got that super annoying tone, which is actually a pretty cool lead. It's like, it's got that square wave feel to it because it's a square wave to a degree. It's like a mix right now. It's a good mix. I like it. So, but I don't want it in my sound. So what I'm going to do is on mod X, I'm going to have its volume turn off when mod is down. Now I got to figure out I probably want it a little bit more over, like that, like this, which is exactly what I want. So that's why that weird looking thing was there. But I still want this because it'll control the modulation. I'm not sure if I did that on my other ones. Now let's send it out with some reverb on it. So go to our effects, turn the reverb on. I used to never use these effects. Like, I used to underuse this so much. Like, doing a series like this has really improved my ability to work with Sytrus, like, hugely. So sounds kind of cool with some unison on it too. So I tossed some unison on it. I left all the defaults where they were. It was fine. So, okay, that's what we got. Now let's come in here. Let's automate X. Create an automation clip. And let's bring it down here. You may consider renaming stuff with all these automation clips hanging around if you have that kind of a problem. Something cool also, if you didn't know, you can have things on top, and then you can, if you have like multiple automation clips on top, you can actually rotate through them so they can be on your patterns. And then depending on which one you select up here, like an audio clip, audio will come to the foreground. Pattern clips will come to the foreground. If you want to mess with automation, I haven't messed with keyboard shortcuts, but you could keep them on there to save space and do something like this. So it's really intuitive, I think. Do I use it? Well, if I've got like 100 clips for like one thing that I'm automating all on, I might not use that technique, but occasionally I'll do it just because I think it's good practice to learn other types of workflows. I try to make it a habit to like go and learn some new keyboard shortcut like every like couple days. That way I'm always learning something. I get faster, you know? So here we go. So I have this is an interesting type deal. It's pretty high up, you know? So let's bring it down. And let's get something a little more sharp. So delete, delete, delete. Done, done. Let's get it to be more sharp, more sharpness. And so for this, I'm going to go to X on my default on metal. I'm going to turn smoothing off because I want my stuff to be right there when it happens. Like bang, 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 bang. If you don't know what smoothing is or does, go watch again my Sytrus from the Ground Up series. So that's pretty interesting type deal. I could create another one where I could just come over here and chop it. There we go. Chop. And put it on top and do something like this. Let me zoom in here. I go to double step. I wish I had seen more rhythms when people did stuff like this. Like people they didn't do very many rhythms, and this is I just didn't understand at the time some of these things. It's impossible to select just this when it's like that. So that's, I guess, one reason to do it below. Most people are used to doing it below. I just thought that was a cool thing. We could take it down. We could do something like this. So that's pretty cool. So anyways, metal sound, pretty nifty. So we have a couple now. So we have this one. We have this one. And this one. So yeah, that's how you generally create sounds like this. I know I already sort of have a metal sound one on my channel earlier in this series in the bass section, but I felt like I'd include another one because you could also do longer texture changes, like something like that. Or you know what? Where's the pencil tool? I'm already on the pencil tool. Oh, but I need to be on step mode. That's right. Do. And now do this. And you could add a lot of reverb. And I know I try to keep it all inside, but it'd be cool to add some reverb. We'll use Native Instruments. Look at that. We'll go on mix mode. Make it we'll just go on wet mode. And I just automate it like this. Turn it on as we go. Let it ring out near the end. And I'm just really quick going to grab a preset on this thing. And I'm going to go to not small hall. Sound effects. Let's just go to large giant hall. So there you go. You could do something like that. You could even do something. Whoops. I want to do something like this. You're up and down and then go up and down really fast. And then right before the end, you do something like that. Maybe kind of a wispy type deal. We could even do a small thing and then have it reach up at the very end. It's just this interesting thing. So you can do interesting stuff. I guess that was my main idea for this one, was to show you that it doesn't have to be a wobble, even though I kind of gave you all wobble examples, but you can make some pretty cool things atmospheric wise that can really add dynamic moves and subtleties underneath track. If you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe and have a blessed day. Is the main people always like, what do you use noise for besides like dope risers for my mega fire hot dank beats, bro? Well, potato chip, this is what you use them for. So you have these two types of main noise. There's other kinds of noise, but there are two ones you really need to be aware of, and I've talked a little bit about them. We have white noise. And what is white noise?